reach hard topics, but the truth we speak. Oh yeah. Black men speak. Turn it up. Let the truth run deep. Oh yeah. From the barbershop chair to the back row seat. You feel what we feel, then repeat. Then repeat. Black men speak. Talk faith, talk pain, talk pride, talk father, talk sons by our side. Every story that they said was weak, you gon' hear us talk on. Black men speak. Turn it up, let the truth run deep. Say it, from the barbershop chair to the back row seat. If you feel what we feel, then repeat, then repeat.
Well, welcome to another episode of Black Men Speak. I am your host, Keith Dent. It's great to be here on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. But today we're going to go beyond the surface and talk about what really takes to build something that lasts. In today's conversation, and this is the Pinnacle of Color series, by the way, we're talking about a shift that every entrepreneur has to make at some point. And that's moving from hustle to building legacy. Because let's be honest, a lot of us were taught how to grind, right? You got to be on that grind, got to be out here on that grind. We hear that a lot. And we know how to do that. But building wealth, building something sustainable, now that's a different conversation. Of course, hustle will get you paid, but legacy requires structure, patience, and vision. Requires thinking beyond today's win and asking, what am I building that will stand for tomorrow and beyond? And today we're not just talking about it, we're seeing it in action. We're going to be talking with two founders of C&G Luxury Candles, Joe Coleman and Vernon Garrett, who have known each other for over 20 plus years and have built a brand that's turning creativity into a premium experience and a long-term play. And it's candles, right? And it's pretty awesome. And, they are very creative. I've looked at some of their products and I'm not going to reveal them just yet. But it's something that's, let's be honest, you don't see a lot of Black men in this medium or in this side of business. So the fact that they've been able to carve out a niche for themselves in Richmond, Virginia, and then I'm sure online, it's pretty awesome. But like I said, they're in the heart of Richmond, and it started out as a small investment back in 2016. It began as a simple idea, but it's grown through vision, persistence, and a commitment to mastering the craft, from building a loyal customer base to expanding across the East Coast and even through the challenges of the pandemic. But what's powerful is the pivot. After discovering the concept of the candle making experience, the brand evolved into something bigger, not just selling products, but creating moments. And even after setbacks, the team came back stronger, reimagining the business as an upscale, community-driven space, rooted in creativity and connection. So today, C&G Luxury Candles isn't a brand, it's a reflection of what happens when you turn hustle into legacy. This is about mindset, strategy, and execution. And I can't wait to talk with the founders, Joe and Vernon, and they're going to give us how they did it. So, Joe, Vernon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. That was a great intro, man. I'm looking like, who is he talking about? This is amazing, man. Like,
it's great. Hey, and it's funny because we don't hear our flowers enough, right? You say it's an intro, but yeah, we need to hear those things. And I mean, this is a lot of I guess sweat equity in the making. So I've known you've known each other for 20 plus years. Just tell me quickly, how did you guys meet?
Man, it was on move-in day at our wonderful, beloved Hampton University in James Hall. And this guy was in the hallway, just loud, joking on everybody, just talking crazy. I'm like, all right, this guy right here's a nut. Man, I got to stay away from him. He's crazy. But nah, man, we became great friends after that. And, whenever you meet someone, you kind of know that you'll always do business or do some kind of, you want to build something with them. That was kind of, always the mutual feeling and respect, just based off the way we carried ourselves and engaged people and got to leverage the country roots, country twang, but also being professionals in our own right as well. So that's how we met, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I mean, even back then, did you really talk about at some point going into business together, or did it happen kind of organically?
No, I mean, we kind of, it's very organically. We kind of like disconnected for a little bit, and social media put us back in touch. And, we were kind of different phases in our professional careers. And it's all about someone's like their integrity, who they are as a person. And, you can build on that foundation. So, we always knew we would talk business, even, before we started at the businesses. And we always had great conversations, just, after work and kind of sitting around, just kind of talking about what could be. And it just happened. And, I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity and for the friendship that was first prior to being business partners.
Great. So tell me a little bit about Richmond, Virginia. When I unfortunately I haven't actually been within the city. I've usually driven through, and where you see the big Philip Morris cigarette that you get when you drive through, and then of course you hear about Richmond spiders. But yeah, give me a little history if you can.
I mean, Joe, you want to get this one? You want to share some?
Well, one thing I will say, Richmond is growing. There's a diverse group of folks here. Richmond's growing really fast, actually. Every time I look, there's new buildings, new apartment complexes, new housing developments. We are the location of, the terminals for the Maria pipeline, which is the line that runs under the ocean that basically connects us to other countries for internet. So especially on our east end, we are, there's a little bit of resistance, but we do have a lot of data centers that are coming here, and there's a lot of tech jobs that are starting to head this way. And not to mention, we have a lot of folks that are moving south from Northern Virginia just because of the rising cost. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot of good food. And there's a lot of business here. One thing that I realized lately is that there are a lot of Black businesses, not only here where we're located at Stony Point Fashion Park, but just in the city in general. There's so many here that I kind of overlooked them in the sense of I didn't realize we were such a large cluster. I thought it was like this everywhere until folks from Northern Virginia and other places will come to visit and say, hey, y'all have all sorts of Black-owned businesses here. Like, for example, here at Stony Point, we have, I think there's 16 Black-owned businesses right here in just one shopping mall where we are. So,
wow, that's impressive.
Don't usually, and they're all thriving. And I think we're getting close to being full as far as occupancy at this mall, which is somewhat unheard of in 2026 for a shopping mall. But there's a shift that's happening.
The number of Black-owned business per capita is, I don't think anybody, we're aware of a few other, suites and a few other strip malls and the whole nine, but I'm willing to, go on a limb and say that we have the most Black-owned businesses per capita in this part of the city, and in other versus like other parts of the entire world, I'd say, because again, 16 businesses and all different things, all independently owned. it's quite a movement. We love for you to come out and check this out one day, Mr. Dent. It's amazing out here.
Yeah, I'll definitely I have to extend my trip,
Oh yeah.
when I'm heading down south.
And the food as well. The food is crazy. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
We'll travel on business, and we'll see all the marketing, all the signs, all the commercials, and be so disappointed when we get to these places. Like, we have better food at home. Like, what's going on? This is crazy. So I think, with the exception of New Orleans and I'm not gonna say it.
You won't have to throw New York in there, so at least.
Yeah, okay, I get it, but there's always like a southern roots tied into that, man. So it's like the grandma, great grandma, they moved, so it's always
I get it. Yeah,
southern ties in there. But yeah,
I get it. And when you say 16 businesses, out of how many stores?
Oh wow, kind of on the spot a little bit with that. I think maybe out of
25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, since we're talking business, let's shift into that now. So when you hear hustle versus legacy, what's the biggest mind shift entrepreneurs need to make?
Man, the hustle is the everyday, starting out, kind of building those habits of being engaging, being very present, being very intentional about what you're doing to gain visibility. And I guess also maybe like setting a name for yourself or making a name for yourself as well. But when the shift about, I guess, getting more serious about your legacy, now we're talking about our investments and our brand and what it means to say that you are associated, affiliated, our children, our family, after we remove ourselves out of this out of this equation, excuse me, if you will. So that's kind of what it means as far as the longevity piece. Legacy means well, after we close our eyes. So it's exciting to think about growing things and building things that will outlast us and that our children will be able to eat off of. And grandkids as well. So why I stopped there, but that's the vision.
Okay. Anything to add, Joe?
Systems, adding the systems. I think as far as hustling, it's kind of a rush thing. I believe the definition of hustle is, let me see, I looked it up earlier just to be sure. Definition is to force someone to move hurriedly or unceremoniously. So, in business, when we're constantly on the hustle, we don't have time to sit back and think, okay, how can I systemize what I'm doing? How can I make this run itself without me having to necessarily be in the mix?
You preaching, man. You preaching.
When you try to shift from the hustle to the legacy, you figure out the systems for the business as a whole to continue to run with you being able to step away. Because that's the only way you can grow, is to be able to step back and have things run themselves, because you hit a point where you max out on what you can do as one person. So those systems are what help create the legacy.
And when did you guys decide, or what was the circumstance around where you made that shift for yourselves?
To the legacy, well, I would say life. So there's a bit of a backstory as to how we ended up at C&G.
Yeah.
I was part of another candle company, and that sort of fizzled out. And when it fizzled out, there was still 10 months left on the lease here at this building. So I was talking to Vern, and he was like, hey, 10 months, let's give it a shot. If it doesn't work, then we just shut it down. So we reconfigured a few things, changed the brand, made better candles, and we just went from there. So that's kind of, for us, once we realized it could work, it was easy to start changing it into, systems and figure out how to grow it. I would say we're kind of at the point now where if we desired to duplicate this, we could duplicate it and have it run somewhere else. The hardest part, though, for us is there's certain things that you can't duplicate easily, and that's the vibes, which sounds funny, but part of CNG is the vibe that you get when you enter our establishment. That's the hardest thing to duplicate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. And so I guess since this is, and that we're not really reading a book, but since we are not in the same space, what is the vibe, that is created?
Oh,
when
man.
you come in?
Listen,
we need to get people to come from all over just to catch the vibe. So what is it?
Yeah. So fountains, a live monstera that's probably 10 feet across, maybe going on 6 feet tall. People stop by the window and take pictures of this plant because it's so beautiful. Earth tones, the mink, fox, the grays, the crocodile texture wallpaper. So it's all about just being very, very neat, very, very clean. And then, of course, the candles, the scents go insane in here. But it's just kind of setting a standard in the retail experience of having a very clean space. A place is very, very peaceful. And also, you walk in and we just start kind of engaging you. Who are you? Where are you from? What brought you in today? These are things that, forget about the retail transaction. Let's build a connection because, retail has changed forever due to, I guess, the pandemic and everything else. But no one talks anymore. So when people walk in, we just have a conversation. Let's meet each other because, it's never about the one transaction of like buying one candle. It's about the connection. It's about the relationship that will lead us to the procurement director or the procurement officer that's responsible for buying 10,000 candles a year. So that's kind of how we play it. It's a very relaxed, no pressure, smell everything in the store. Give us some feedback, please. Come hang out, come sit. We just really enjoy engaging our clients and going from clients to friends, actually. So that's our vision for the store. And, we were actually asked one day if this store was a franchise. And that was such a high compliment because, franchises come ready to go. But when it's your independent store, it's your faith walk. It's your vision that you're trying to execute. So to have her come in and think that it looks so nice in here that it had to be some, store in a box kind of thing, that was amazing. I just took that as the highest compliment ever. But yeah, that's the vibe, just very, very nice. Somewhere you want to kind of hang out and enjoy.
Awesome.
Just real quick to add to that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a finger to put on what we were doing when we started it. We're just two guys from the country. Hospitality is just what we do by default.
Yeah.
But we are in a book club, and a gentleman named John Kemper, who I would kind of call it one of our pseudo mentors as far as business, handed me a book one day called Raving Fans. He said, "I built a multi-million-dollar business off of this book here. Go home and read it." Okay, cool. That's all he said. He's a very funny guy, but he's very
okay.
This book, Raving Fans, I actually looked it back up. It's a book by a gentleman named Ken Blanchard and another gentleman named Sheldon Bowles, where essentially it's just a guide to giving revolutionary customer service. And this is something we had implemented just sort of by default by being the guys that we are. And that's sort of the whole vibe that you get when you come to CNG. You get revolutionary customer service and you get a level of comfort that you don't get in a lot of retail establishments now. So yeah.
Nice. I like that. And Raven Fans, I hadn't really heard of that book, so thank you for that.
It's a very interesting book because it's not like a book like the Cash Flow Quadrant where it's like facts. This is almost like a storyline
and
Okay.
a case
kind
study.
of weird.
Like it's like
Yeah.
kind of sharing, what they did and what was successful, and like the simplest things, but things that can be overlooked when you get into that hustle of knocking people over to give them your flyer or to sell them your stuff. And if you don't want it today, forget about you. No, these are things that plant the seeds that grow these relationships over time. So that's definitely something that's very important to us as well. Mentorship, reading, and also traveling and looking at how other businesses kind of move or their mistakes as well. We don't all have to make the same mistakes. We can kind of see you doing something wrong and implementing and kind of pivot from there. So yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Right. Okay. Well, and were there any signs, I guess, from that you saw in each other, or just the business as a whole, that you were stuck in the grind and not actually building the long-term wealth that you wanted? And if so, what adjustments did you make in your business and to ensure that you weren't?
I don't think with this particular business we've fallen into a rut, but this is not the first business that we have tried to do.
Okay.
This might be the 10th idea that stuck. And I want to say that this one stuck because of the need for it to stick. But and what I mean by that is when the original business that I was a part of folded and I still had 10 months of a lease to cover, it was you have to pay this 10 months lease or you have to pay this 10 months lease. There was no option.
Okay.
When that came to be a situation, it was like, all right, either try it and fail miserably or try it and succeed. So I think drilling down and trying to make this work for that 10 months put us in a mindset that we didn't have the focus maybe in the past with some of the other businesses that we entertained.
Yeah.
We just really drilled down, like, all right, we're gonna make this work. And then there were all sorts of things that happened between the original business closing and C&G opening.
Man,
the mall opened
that's
up
a
another
Tubi
candle
documentary.
business
That's a
20
whole
feet
Tubi
away from
movie.
us.
You gotta produce that.
It was crazy. But I say all that to say this: the need to focus to keep this running and doing what it needed to do put us in a mindset where we're really not scared to try anything as far as business now. There's really no idea that you can put in front of us that we are like, oh no, that's too big and scary. So
right. So to go back to that, was the first candle business a franchise? And
no,
okay.
It was a friend of mine who started a candle company.
Oh, I see.
And I was really a silent investor to begin with. So that's really how we ended up in this business. She was selling candles. At the time, I was a IT project manager for a local government system. I had a little bit of money and I liked her candles. So I invested in her company. She wasn't very good with selling, so I got more involved. And,
I see. And you got caught holding the wick. No pun intended.
Well,
I like that. Hey, yo. Woo, man.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. So
I get it.
But that was a few years. That was a few years before that fizzled out.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's really how. By the time C&G was a thing, I knew how to make the candles. I had already been to many events selling the candles, so I had a good, I already had a pretty decent following as well. I was like, what we found out near the end was that a lot of people purchased the candles because of me and not so much because of the candles at the time. Because you can't sell a product. What you sell is the vibe. You sell yourself, and then people then decide, at least starting off, like, okay, you don't know who owns some of these other candle companies that I won't mention. You don't know, but they've built a rapport in the community and people know those candles. But starting off as a local business, people don't know you. So they have to be comfortable with you to feel like they should purchase from you. So that's a thing.
Gotcha. And you know, and that makes sense. But it's been a long journey, and you've been in the business for a while now. So how has I guess patience and discipline come into play when it comes to, I guess, building, you know, just building and maintaining the legacy that you've created?
Patience is everything. Now I'll expound a little bit on this. So we are two men in a space. It's very rare to find two men in
absolutely.
a space, a fragrance, in any luxury good, like a consumable, right? So our clients are 98% women. And the communication, the attention to detail, just being attentive to what our clients are saying. I wish I could say that it's paying dividends, but I don't think that word is big enough, because that's how we get to just grow and just build. And, you know, we have clients that come in for their birthday parties, for candle making, and they'll bring 10 people with them. And out of that party of 11 people, 5 of them will say, hey, I want my party here too. Can I put a deposit down today? And this is just off of patience, just listening to hearing what people want, what people need, what people expect, because we also get the stories of other stores in our same peer group, if you will, and they may not have the best reviews, the best feedback about their experiences there. So we make sure to pay attention and to provide an experience that's like nothing that they've ever experienced before, because we hear the bad news, the bad press all over the place. Mind you, we said this mall has 16 Black-owned businesses. We are, again, from the country. We have a hospitality that is innate in us. We are the church ushers of the mall. You're walking around looking lost, we'll give you direction. We'll walk you over to a store because we know the owner. We know what you're looking for. So we take pride in making sure that you get what you need, even if what you need is not from us today, because you're going to go and talk about it. And we go places now in the city. Hey, candle man. Hey, candle man. So it's a great feeling to plant these seeds. And but again, it's going back to being very, very patient and intentional, because again, a no today, or just because someone came in and smelled a few candles and didn't buy one today, that does not mean that they won't. That just means not today. They just don't have the need for it right now. But when it's time for a birthday gift or an anniversary gift or something that they have, you know, that's important to them right now, they come to C&G. So it just matters to give a great first impression and just be here in a service role. That just matters so much because it's so rare nowadays.
So since you did say that you have 98% women that come into that are your clients,
maybe 99.
Maybe what's the most, I guess, surprising thing or inspiring thing you heard from one of your clients or just someone that walked into the store?
You know, I'll say that referrals are, you know, it's I think that's the highest compliment you can give a business, is by referring someone. So we've had requests to go out and do mobile candle making events for family reunions, and we're in a hotel ballroom, family from across the country, Mississippi, Alabama, Denver, Colorado, New Jersey, all over the place. And we're in there making candles and doing the wobble with the grandma. So that's by far like the highest compliment ever, is to, because when we met the young lady that set that up, she didn't buy a candle that day. She came in, looked around, met us, talked for a little bit, but that impact that we were able to leave her with got us to that reunion. We've done candles for different organizations that may not have been very transparent about who they were, when they walked in. But we just provide that great service up front. And it's just undeniable. We just love going the extra mile. And it just pays dividends time and time again.
You know, I'll give you one thing that threw me off. But when I got over myself, I realized that it was essentially the highest compliment. So we do candle making classes.
Right.
When we started getting bookings from people who already knew how to make candles, or they wanted to learn how to make candles so that they could go make them and resell them. The first time that somebody came to do that, it threw me off a little bit, but then I had to get over myself. I got over myself pretty quick, but it was just the idea like, wow, you come here to learn how to make candles to go sell. But I'm like, it was just like a immediate reaction. But then I'm like, you do this anyway. What is the difference? So that to me was one of the highest compliments, because you felt like we were so far ahead of the pack, so to speak, that you would pay money to learn how to make candles from us so that you could go try and make candles to sell yourself. We had one lady come in. She came from DC to learn how to make candles because she was a little nervous about how her job situation was going with the government shutdowns. And to drive down from DC in this traffic to learn how to make candles, that was a high compliment to me.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that. That was huge.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a little weird at first, but then I'm like, man, that's actually pretty cool.
Well, a couple of things on that. Have you ever heard of the case method?
Refresh me. I feel like I think I have, but please refresh me.
A copy and steal everything.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that, and so, but then, you know, it's all seriousness. People don't buy the candles. They don't buy because of the candles. They really buy because the two of you and what you bring, the aura of the space. So that's why people buy candles, because you can buy candles anywhere.
Yeah,
correct. And I think that's the beautiful part about the online piece, how we have to kind of tell the story to kind of, you know, give you an idea of what you're smelling from your computer or from your phone before you ever get that delivery to your house with your candle inside. So, you know, we're storytellers. You have to be captivating. You have to be very much in control of your audience. And again, since we've been, I guess, deemed the authority of candle making locally, you can't help but to get a little bit more pep in your step when you're telling your story, when you're sharing. And, you know, the case method is kind of funny, actually, because there was a time we were very guarded. We were very, we didn't share a lot. We didn't always tell our story and the how and the what, because, hey, what if somebody takes our idea, right? But
and that's real. Yeah, that's real. A lot of entrepreneurs, you don't feel that.
After loosening up a little bit and after sharing and being more transparent with, you know, without any fear of anyone taking anything, that's when we hit a whole different level, because also people don't do it. People don't take action anyway. So they're going to ask you questions. You can tell them exactly how to do what you think A to Z, and they don't do it. So, but they can feel, other people can feel when you're being that raw storyteller or that raw presenter and kind of sharing how things will go. So we've been able to grow tremendously because of our ability to push past that fear of what if somebody takes our idea, to no one's going to take our idea. They don't have ourselves. They're not us. Right. You know, a lot of people buy from these suppliers. You know, you can Google how to do it, but right. You know, you can't be us. You don't know how to engage clients. You don't know how to net be pushy. So those are things that we specialize in. Planting seeds.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Uh-oh. So, are you vegan?
No.
Okay. You eat hamburgers?
Sure.
Okay. You from New Jersey? Perfect. So I look at it I tell people this all the time. White Castle, we have none down here in Virginia. Well, I know you have them up in New Jersey. I've been there a couple of times. White Castle was opened for business in 1929. I believe McDonald's opened in 1955. Their main product, hamburgers. It's 2026. Which one of them is closed?
I don't think they either are closed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of look at the candles, and that's kind of what changed our mindset. You know, just there, we were probably the third or fourth candle making business to open up in the area, but we just put our heads down and we just focused on offering the best product that we could offer, and we're thriving. And I believe the other places are thriving, but I really don't know because we just stay focused on C&G. So I say that to people all the time because we even have other candle makers who kind of get into this thing where they want to quit, and we tell the local guys not to quit because there are buyers for your product, but they can't buy your product if you quit. Say, there's 1,000 places that sell hamburgers, and there's 1,000 of them that thrive. Why? Because they don't quit.
Yes, sir.
They don't quit, and they do have their own value proposition. So even when they're just very, and that's a great segue into the fact that you define your candle as luxury candle. Now, was that by design? Did you always have luxury in the name, or if so, how did that come about?
Man,
you want to tell the truth on you want to talk about this with me?
Let's go ahead and tell it, bro. This may help somebody.
Right.
Let's go ahead and tell the story.
So, in that 10-month period of figuring out what to do when the original company dissolved, we had to rebrand because the original company was not called C&G. In the rebrand period where we were trying to figure out what to call this store, the leasing manager of the mall decides to lease.
The past leasing manager, the prior
leasing manager
He's
decides to lease. Yeah. He never mind. He decides to lease 2 doors down to another candle company.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't supposed to do that. But I don't think he told them the truth. And I think he told them that we were not opening back up. So as this new candle company is moving in and setting up to sell, we determined that we needed to have a superior product.
Yeah.
So that's why C&G went to C&G Luxury Candles. Now, mind you, maybe it was a bit petty, but we had to differentiate ourselves from the other candle company. But we didn't do it just in name. So, okay, well, if we're going to call ourselves luxury, we need to
get a little too.
So we did a ton of research, and we found the best products that you can use for candles. So, for example, we use a coconut apricot soy-based wax. We use cotton core wicks. We use fragrance oils that don't have parabens in them. They're all certified clean. We wanted to make sure that we call ourselves that we actually were luxury. So that's sort of where the name came from. So we show and prove, to say this.
And on top of that, also, like, our store, we're in the footprint of Saks Fifth Avenue. So Saks is like right down the way from us. There's a couple high-end steakhouses. There's a P.F. Chang's. There are several high-end stores. So that was us saying that we are better than the candle shop that you all should have never let in this mall, 2 doors down from us. And we also deserve to be in this entire mall because it's a luxury product in a boutique mall next to Tiffany's, next to Pandora. So again, the mall kind of has a boutique image anyway. So that was kind of us, passing the other candle company, but also solidifying our place here as a luxury brand.
Okay. And is that candle place still there?
No.
It's not. No. Okay.
Unfortunately. And being transparent with you, we had some issues. Basically, they should have never leased that space. It was a lot of red tape that we had to go through previously that we could not, we couldn't really address it the way we wanted to. But when this other store came in, it wasn't personal, but it was kind of a weird interaction. But you know, as we kind of got over ourselves and said, hey, it's not about them, it's about us, we still were able to build a sense of community in that short time they were here, with being able to share supplies and share products. And there were things clients would come looking for from us. We didn't have it in stock. We said, hey, go next door, go over there and buy it there. They have it over there. So, and then when they left, it actually hurt a little bit because we hate to see any business close. We hate to see any Black business shut down due to lack of resources or, you know, lack of funding, any of that. So it always hurts. So you just can't, we couldn't help but wonder what it would have been like had they not been misled, or had we had a better connection up front.
Oh, I see. And it was Black owned as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, but that also forced us to look within, because we have a bigger storefront. Our store is bigger than that space. So that is what helped to unlock the concept of candle making, because you have space to sell retail 2 doors down, but you cannot host 25 sorority women in here making candles for their girls' day out. So it was just a great time to look within and get more familiar with what we can offer the other stores can't, and kind of put a full court press on the candle market locally, because no one was doing that at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great story. And what I like is the fact that you didn't turn on each other, because that could have easily been, just because the way things, not just the way things work out, and you never know what other people's motives are, but I think
it wasn't their fault.
That's what we do as a people anyway.
Right.
You know?
There was some lying going on, but it wasn't with us or them.
Right.
And I'll say it, the former leasing manager was saying and doing anything he could to get spaces leased over here at the time. So I'm positive he told them we weren't coming back. So they said, hey, well, we'll give it a shot. But the whole time we never told them we were leaving. We still trying to get our
rent. And we had to, you know, kind of tape up the windows because we were trying to renovate the store to make it look more masculine with the paint colors and the whole nine. You know, again, we're still paying rent. We're not able to make any revenue. We were closed for 3 months? From July 1st.
Yeah, so basically November 14th.
Yeah. So that was a long time to not make any revenue and to pay commercial rents. And then to loop in another competitor, if you will. But, you know, being transparent with you, it still hurts to see businesses close so much that I actually went over and had a conversation with them on what I did not know was their like next to the last day, because it wasn't an apology, but it was just an effort to make another first impression, because I know my first impression wasn't the best, but I was speaking from a place of, come on, who would lease? Why are they doing this? Yeah, I made it more so about us, but when I flipped it around and thought about how I would feel as a business owner that you lease me a space and tell me that these other candle companies are gone, for them to, you know, to be in a retooling phase, that was awful. That was very, very hurtful. So I felt for them going through that as business owners as well. So, you know, it was very, very tough to watch, actually.
Gotcha. Well, you mentioned masculine just a few minutes ago. So how did you make, I guess, a feminine product masculine? What are some of the things that you had to do to put your stamp on this business in order to stand out?
Well, the first thing to me is that we did a little bit of market research, and we had focus groups before we opened up. So what we did was we had a number of our friends and some of their friends come in to actually smell different candles that we made, and we had them rank them.
Okay.
And that's when we determined that, at least from our research, that
Mhm.
most of the women that we knew liked the more masculine smelling candles
Oh
versus
wow.
the
Okay.
floral and fruity candles. So, I mean, it was pretty easy for us because we focused most of our starting scents on leaning more towards the woodsy, masculine type scents. So it kind of just fit into the aesthetic of the store when most of the candles, like everything in here is like kind of dark. We have alligator wallpaper on the wall, things like that kind of just fit like the more kind of like loungy look versus like
It's like a masculine library in here.
Okay.
That's what a lot of our clients say. It's like a guy's cigar lounge library that sells candles. Like we hear all of that in here. But going back to Joe's point, the focus group is what did it, because that basically allowed us to kind of be in the black right away. We never got stuck with 100 candles that nobody wanted, because the focus group told us what they wanted. And this group was composed of our target audience, professionals, lawyers, doctors, then also like the everyday folks as well. So we had a lot of people that we still see that same client profile now in other people, of course, but they still like the same sense as their counterparts in that same demographic. So it's been great. There have been things that we can't even take out of stock. We have people that come in and will buy out the whole SKU of a certain scent because everything is hand poured in here. We make everything by hand. So with that, people buy what they like, and it's been a great process, kind of watching something go from a concept in your head to on paper to on the shelf to walking your clients out because they bought 20 candles, to give away to people, and inviting us to come to their reunion to make candles, or their church for the pastor's anniversary. There's so many different verticals that this group has taken us to.
Okay. But you're being a little modest or cheeky. So I'm looking at some of the products here. Products like Girl, That's Him. Morning Wood. Sundress Season. So Let That Mango, or Let That Mango. So these are not just a Dark Abyss, so it's an After Hours. Okay, I didn't see that one. So these are not just scents. These are a kind of a play on like words. So has that always been the case, or how did you shift to, I guess you're really kind of creating a scent.
It's a talking point, and a lot of the names came from a number of things. Some of them we came up with, some of the names some of our clients came up with. Some of them our clients, some of them are true stories. So I don't know if it's on the site now, but there's a candle called 37 Missed Calls, which was how many missed calls I had on my phone. That's a true story at the time.
Okay.
I don't have any of that going on now. There's no missed calls on my phone.
Easy. Watch out.
But
you about to get a call.
Names, that's funny. But a lot of the names, and even if the names are funny, they have some sort of relation to the scent. So Morning Wood is a oud, tonka, and teakwood blend. Let's see. Sundress Season is a vanilla orchid scent. So it smells like the beginning of spring, right when the sundresses are broken out and it's 75 degrees and people are going to brunch and having a good time. So Let That Mango is just mango and coconut milk, but just to play on words. A lot of folks come in here and they see it and they think it's real funny.
But people then, also to flip it around too. Now, to flip it around with the Sugar Daddy. We have a candle called Sugar Daddy, right? Sugar Daddy.
Oh, I didn't
is,
see that on here. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he's on there. So the joke or the talking point with Sugar Daddy is he's an 80-year-old Philip Morris retiree. 4 Cadillacs, 4 gold chains, 4 gold rings. He has those super starched slacks. He got his loafers on. He's got some cold sodas in a cooler. Girl, go get you a cold soda over there. Go ahead and get you a soda. So it's a joke because so many people come in and can identify with that and say, oh my God, that's my daddy, or that's my grandpa. Or so it's just kind of hilarious because, it smells like an old player. So that's how we kind of name these things and just have these stories. Every candle has a story. And that's what sells because people will ask us for the stories and we just kind of spit them out. We just run them down. Like we have them all memorized at this point. It's just kind of locked in, but it's just beautiful that's what really sells. The woodsy blends, the French 75. It's like a limoncello cream note, but we call that something else. Initially, and one of our clients, she's a bartender. She was like, "No, this is a French 75." I'm like, "What's that?" We don't drink those. What is that? But it wasn't so much the drink; it was the people that drink those drinks. Because we, as we started to pay attention, we hang out with colleagues that order those. I'm like, yeah, that's you. So our clients kind of become the candle personified, if you will. So it's been just a really wild ride with all these names and concepts.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So with your business, C&G Luxury Candles, how do you feel your place where you live really impacts the community, and what sort of legacy do you think that it leaves for them?
I think, as far as the legacy of C&G, I think the long-term legacy will be more than C&G Luxury Candles. If anything, C&G was the catalyst for something bigger, in the sense of we are growing this into something larger. We are starting to morph into business development for other folks.
Yeah.
May 1st, we are having a concert here at the mall. Free
nice.
Concert to get people out. And a lot of people have been coming to us for, business advice, just share thoughts. So as far as the legacy, I think C&G is going to continue to grow, and just the candles will just be one part. I think it's going to be more of a business community long term, where we are able to help other people grow their businesses by giving advice and resources. C&G is definitely a resource hub. Now that I say that, it's been a resource hub before we realized it was a resource hub. And that's been part of the reason we've been able to grow in the manner that we have grown. Because Vern knows somebody, I know somebody, people come in, they might need something totally unrelated to candles, but the connections that people have come here and made bring more people in, if that makes
a whole Rolodex, a Rolodex of the who's who around town. When I think C&G, the brick and mortar, has put us in a place where we're kind of on the radar a little bit more now. Like, I would never say that we need validation, but having a store in the fashion park that we're in, it's not a lot. There's nothing more to really say. Like, oh, these guys have been here 4 years and they've been able to sustain themselves. And so now it's like, okay, how? So the thing I feel like C&G is going to become, or C&G Luxury Candles has become, if they can do it with candles, then they can do it with whatever else. So that's what kind of puts us in a place of being, again, development specialists, because people always ask us, well, how did y'all do this? How'd you do that? To the point where we're working on packaging, so many different how-tos, because we've gone through so many different things that it would behoove us to share more, because we are the experts in this space. after dealing with setback after setback, but also it would behoove people that are trying to get from the kitchen table to a retail space. So I just think that this puts us in a place of, philanthropy. We've been able to give. We support a couple different charities. The Sisters Network is an amazing organization that I think everyone should look up and be aware of them. Different churches, different sororities. It's been amazing. So I feel like this kind of has opened the door to so many different opportunities. But I have a saying, and we often laugh about it every day. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So, the approach is always the same. So this has kind of helped us, again, sharpen our tools, if you will. But the product is just a candle. So now we're working on changing that product out to a couple different things, different services, and again, consulting as well, because this is the case study. This is, you can walk into the case study and see what's going on. So we're just trying to transform this age of misinformation in the information age, because everyone has all the corners to cut now and all the shortcuts and all the stories to hack and do this. You can't get around some of this stuff. Some of these things you just have to deal with in the correct way. And there are a lot of places that are not being honest with people. So we're excited about diving into this new role as consultants to be able to kind of peel back the onion a little bit and help people understand what you have to do and what's not necessary and when you're being taken advantage of. So that's on the horizon.
Great. Now, so I have a little off-script question, just because you guys have known each other for such a long time and you went to school together. So what is the one thing that you learned, either about yourselves or just in general, that you didn't learn when you were in college?
Oh, man. Where do you want to start?
The one key thing.
I can go first.
Go ahead.
So this is going to be a weird answer, but the one thing that you're not taught in college in the classroom setting is how to deal with people in business. Now, I roll that back because I will say that I did learn how to deal with people in college, but not necessarily in class. Some of the out of class experiences in college that I had with folks rolled over into some sort of functionality in dealing with people in business, understanding people's profiles, understanding how people move, understand thought processes, which helps us in business be successful and to, deal with the different types of people that we come in contact with here in the store. So I didn't learn it in class, but I did learn it somewhat in college. So it's kind of a
you were the gift of gab, brother. So it right. It came pretty easy. So yeah, I get it.
Well,
okay.
It's something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Vernon, what about you?
Wow. I think the importance of networking and maintaining an image that is authentic and appropriate for the situation, because there are a lot of times that you're in a peer group and you want to appear to be head and shoulders, just more mature, more so far removed, things that too juvenile for you. But no, we're all in the same age range peer group. So we're all developing and growing together. So you have to be able to work with people, be amongst the people, but also understanding your strengths and knowing how to network and knowing how to present those strengths in a way that people will want to work with you and want to and kind of gravitate to you. Mind you, we are seasoned guys based on the salt and pepper in our beards now, but there's still some times now that we'll hop on social media and see a colleague or a friend or a past, whatever, and they were always just too cool for school, too cool for whatever the situation was. You're too cool to say hello. You're too cool to support. You're too cool for it all. But now you want to open up a business at this age, and you want to all the things that you sped past, how to have a conversation, how to be a nice person, how to support people. Those are things that you never wanted to learn how to do, but those are the most important things to life. You don't wake up one day and say, I want to start a business. Let me go be nice to 10 people. Let me go be a good friend today. Let me start to be a good friend today because I want to open up a business.
Right.
I want to be a public speaker today. So I'm going to go and not talk over people's heads. I'm not going to go and be a jerk. So it's just crazy how those are things that we're seeing them repeat themselves. But we learned it. We knew how to network and how to kick it, how to be resourceful, how to be helpful, how to be real. But hindsight is 20/20. But I know that there's so many instances of different opportunities that people did not get to really pursue based on an image or based on seeds that you have planted in past years that, where you're not a good candidate, you're not a good friend, you're not a good associate. Now, imagine if, I met Joe and I said, oh, Joe was a jerk. He's not a nice guy. People don't like Joe. I can't do business with Joe. No, that was the cool part about wanting to do business with Joe. He's never met a stranger. Anywhere we go, it's always a great story or somebody from years prior that we've gotten to know and grow with or just kind of have a cool conversation with. So those are things that you cannot take back. You got to lean in to those moments of being just a great person that people want to be around. People shop or people work with people they know, like, and trust. You got to be those three things. So I think those are the keys.
Those are great words, I have to say. And I meant to say before, as far as the legacy thing, I think also your legacy is that there's two brothers that can come together to build something or create something that is last in the community, and it's not entertainment or athletics.
Yeah.
I think that's not something that's lost on me, and that's one of the reasons why I like to feature people like you. So that's really great, and I really appreciate that. I did put just a poll just to see what the favorite scent for a candle, and I just put the names. Of course, they didn't look it up, but I just used Midnight Wood, Let That Man Go, and Dark Abyss. So Midnight Wood won. But
Okay.
most of the people that are listening is a younger crowd, so I'm sure I understand why they picked it. But
That's cool. That's funny.
So that's cool. But Joe and Vernon, thank you for being on today. I have a final question that I like to leave. It's always a surprise. Because I know, and it's apropos, but I know the two of you have been working hard, not just for your community, but also your families. And I'm sure everybody is very proud of you, but sometimes we don't necessarily think of ourselves and just our place in the world. So my question that I always like to end with is, how are the two of you feeling right now as Black men?
I feel good right now.
Okay.
I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm focused.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things going on right now. I'm trying to stay vigilant of what's going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to stay focused on what's going on, what's right here in front of me, my immediate family, the business, continuing to grow as an individual and as a business. So I would say I'm feeling good right now. Just trying to watch out for the distractions. Stay focused.
Great.
I would say I'm feeling. I feel I'm inspired. I feel very inspired after this conversation. But going back, I know there's a lot of work to be done. We've got to get busy, and still be very diligent. Still be very conscious of the legacy that we're building. But also, I think we have to be a little bit more open to changing the direction, or I guess like the way, the means in which we build that legacy. So I think we have to make sure that we're being adaptable. We're being, we're approachable when it comes a time to kind of, I guess, reassess our means of obtaining certain things and building the legacy in a certain way. Because what's the saying, Joe? The roadmap to success is the detours.
Yep.
So, I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure that we can pivot and change our pace, but never change direction. We're still going in the same direction, but just via a different vehicle, if you will. So that's the biggest thing. Just, not letting myself get anxious about wanting to be a millionaire tomorrow. That, why? But it's more so a thing of just pushing and making sure that we're stopping to inspire, and we're allowing ourselves to enjoy the moment as well. That's really important. That's something as Black men we don't breathe. The only time we don't have responsibilities is if we're getting a haircut, get in the chair and go to sleep. That's the only time we're either working, driving, providing. We're always doing something. So I think we're just trying to get to a place of maximizing our systems, maintaining good mental health, and just growing.
That's awesome. I love it. And I know that's usually the final question, but I just wanted you guys to just shout out your business where, since most people may not necessarily be in the Virginia, Richmond area, how can people find your website so they can buy some of these man-scented candles?
Well, we are located at 9200 Stony Point Parkway, Suite 114, Richmond, Virginia, 23235. We can be found online at www.cgluxurycandles.com, and we can be found on social media sites such as Instagram and TikTok at CG Luxury Candles.
Right.
I think Facebook is CNG, right? Or is
no, it's just CG. It's just CG.
Okay. So Facebook, IG, TikTok, CG Luxury Candles. Give us a follow. Let us know that you watch the show. We're excited, for this. And Mr. Dent, thank you so much for having us. This was awesome, man. I'm not sure what I expected, but this was fun. This was really cool. So thank you so much.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and it's all about legacy being built, and you guys are definitely doing that. Not only just for yourselves, but just in the city in which you live, and just for your family. So I just applaud you for what you're doing.
As always, thank you for tuning into Black Men Speak, where we elevate conversations, empower perspectives, and amplify the voices of Black men who are building, leading, and redefining what's possible. If this episode challenged you, inspired you, or gave you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a brother, a sister, a friend, or someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper, exclusive conversations, behind-the-scenes content, bonus episodes, and direct access to our growing community, join the Black Men Speak Patreon family. That's where the real locker room talk happens. That's where we build. You can support the movement and become a member today by visiting our Patreon page. Every subscription helps us continue telling powerful stories that matter. Until next time, keep speaking truth, keep building legacy, and remember, your voice is power. This is Keith Den from the Black Men Speak podcast. Peace.